What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back with another video. Today we're going to be looking at some NHL trade rumors from Spectres Hockey for October 16th. There's actually a lot of really good stuff in here, so make sure if you want to read it, it's down below, but if you want to hear my opinion, we're going to get into this video right away. So if you like this type of content, make sure to let me know and subscribe and like the video. Thank you so much. Alright, let's get into it. So the first thing came from TSN and the ongoing Dustin Byfuglien saga. So Darren Dreger reports that there could be some speculation that maybe a reunion between Dustin Byfuglien and the Winnipeg Jets this season could be possible. Now, there's still no guarantee or a timeline right now for Dustin Byfuglien, but a lot of people are saying, apparently in the industry, that Dustin Byfuglien is maybe leaning towards coming back a little bit. Again, it's all speculation. It's not a guarantee or anything like that. But the Winnipeg Jets could really use some help on their blue line. It's no secret the Jets have had a lot of losses this year on their blue line, and they're still a really good offensive team, still a pretty decent defensive team, but they would always, welcome back Dustin Byfuglien with open arms. Now, the thing is here is you kind of have to be careful depending on the situation, because we don't exactly know what the real situation is with Dustin Byfuglien, and I think that that's good. He deserves his privacy. He deserves, his time with his family, whatever he needs right now. And, he could be dealing with a lot of injuries and stuff that, he really needed to deal with. So that's really important to look at in this situation, and I hope whatever's going on that he's doing well. But the fact that he's considering coming back would be absolutely amazing for the Winnipeg Jets. A guy like Byfuglien added to that team only makes them a lot better. And I honestly don't think it would take too long for Dustin Byfuglien to get back into things and get going again, because he's just one of those guys. He's a workhorse. He can get going pretty quick, and I think that he'll probably be fine. And I'm sure he's probably staying in shape right now, depending on the situation, of course. Next up, as Bob McKenzie says, it's worth watching Kyle Turris right now because the situation with the Predators hasn't really been a great one over this past year or so. So the 30-year-old center is earning $6 million annually, so his AAV is $6 million. Now, he has 5 seasons remaining on this contract, so that's a significant amount of money dedicated to Turris. And right now, he's not exactly getting the minutes that he should be, if considering the money he's getting paid. The Predators are a really good team. They have a lot of offense. They have a really good blue line. They have good goaltending. They have it all. So they can afford right now to have a guy who's not producing, who's getting paid a lot, playing on their fourth line. But here's the thing. If they want to make a big addition at the trade deadline, or, going forward, if they just find something that they need, having that $6 million traded away might actually benefit them, because they can go after somebody that would fit better with their team. Now, here's the thing. We all know that David Poile has been trying to trade this guy. It was noted in the summer. Everybody thought he was going to get traded for sure, but there would have had to have been something attached to him to remove that contract, because a lot of teams weren't biting at that deal. Now, the Spectres note here is interesting, because even with the reduced ice time, Turris has 4 points in 6 games at the time I'm recording this video. So that would put him at a 54-point pace, and a lot of teams could be interested in that. Now, that's not to say with more minutes he'll be at that, he'll get more points. He could. It's very possible. You get more minutes, you get more points. But at the same time, it could be the guys, he's playing with, he's comfortable with. If he is playing on obviously with the fourth line minutes, he's maybe not facing the best competition out there, so he's getting a chance to put up some points. But I would imagine that there's a lot of teams that would at least take a shot at Turris, but with that much money, it would have to be a team that's not really a playoff team right now, or a team that just has a lot of cap space that is willing to do something like this. They might even get something attached to it as well. They may not have to give up a ton, because the biggest asset for Nashville right now is being able to remove that cap hit, give it to somebody else on the team that they want to extend next year, or possibly go after somebody at the trade deadline, or a bit of both, because they can definitely do that if they make that move. But we'll have to see where that goes. But that's what Bob McKenzie's saying, is to just take a look at him, maybe see if it's a possibility that he gets moved sooner than later. Now, Pierre LeBrun believes that the Toronto Maple Leafs could find it challenging to re-sign Jake Muzzin. The 30-year-old defenseman is due to become an unrestricted free agent this summer. Listen, I have a lot to say about this. It's probably going to be a full video, but LeBrun is saying that there's been no contract discussions, in part because the Leafs were focused on re-signing their restricted free agents this summer. Tyson Barrie and Cody Ceci are both UFAs this offseason as well. LeBron thinks that the Leafs want to take some time to reevaluate or to evaluate and prioritize those guys. They can't afford to re-sign all 3 of them and might not be able to re-sign 2 of them. Keep in mind, the Toronto Maple Leafs also have to re-sign Travis Dermott, who is a restricted free agent. Now, Cap Friendly indicates the Leafs have over $65.5 million invested in 11 players. Muzzin and Barrie could cost at least $13 million to re-sign. Now, here's the thing. I can almost guarantee you guys Jake Muzzin's is not going to be a Leaf next year. They're not investing that money in Jake Muzzin if he wants a long-term deal. It's a different story if he agrees to take a short-term 2 or 3 year deal, because then the cap hit becomes much smaller. But at the same time, he's a pretty solid defenseman. He could end up getting a longer-term deal from another team. Now, I love in this that it's saying that, they have to re-sign Cody Ceci. Cody Ceci is not going to be a Toronto Maple Leaf next year. They're not going to re-sign him. I don't see any place where Cody Ceci is back on this team. I don't even know if he's going to make it past this season. So this is what I have to say, because I'm going to be making a full video on this very soon. Tyson Barrie could get $9 million. Like, it's very possible. If he has a really good season, he's already had really good seasons before, he could get $9 million. If I'm the Leafs, that's the first guy you're focused on. Then you're focused on Travis Dermott. Travis Dermott is going to be on a bridge deal. The Leafs are not going to sign him long term. He was injured this year. It could be a 2-year bridge deal, a prove it deal. So there's 2 guys. You already have Morgan Rielly locked in, so there's 3 really solid guys that you would keep on your team. Rasmus Sandin will be a full-time Leaf next year, and he's already impressed this year despite being sent down. So that's 4 guys right there. Timothy Liljegren has to be ready next year for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're giving him all the time in the world to develop. He's looked okay in the preseason. He didn't look bad either. As a depth guy, that's 5 right there. There's not a ton on. This isn't an overly defensive team. Don't get me wrong, but Rasmus Sandin has looked good with his advanced numbers in his own zone. Travis Dermott is a really good 2-way defenseman. Morgan Rielly isn't the best in his own zone, but at the same time, he's still Morgan Rielly, and the same thing goes for Tyson Barrie. Timothy Liljegren has been groomed into a penalty-killing type of guy and power play guy. They're using him in all situations, and he's growing as a better defensive guy too. So you're mixing a lot of offense, you're mixing a lot of defense in there. Some defense in there. And then you're hoping that you can find a guy via free agency, or maybe keeping a Jake Muzzin if he agrees to take a 1 or 2 year deal. I doubt it, but you try to do something like that. You still have Justin Hall, who has actually looked really impressive. He could be on the team next year as well. So everybody's freaking out about the Leafs not having enough money, where next year the Leafs could have 3 entry-level contracts on their blue line, and all 3 of them can contribute to the team. So I wouldn't freak out if I'm everybody out there. It's honestly a little bit ridiculous. The Leafs are going to be fine. The cap's going to go up again by probably $2 or $3 million. And they actually have a decent amount of space to focus on that blue line. The Leafs forwards are pretty much locked up. They've got all those guys to contracts. They're fine, and then they can fill in holes. Like, look at what they did with Mikheyev this year. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Again, I have another video coming on that. Other than that, on here, LeBrun and McKenzie reported that Minnesota Wild and New Jersey, both teams, the New Jersey Devils and Minnesota Wild, they're focusing right now on making sure that their coaches are getting better, and if not, then they could be gone. But there's no real focus right now to fire anybody, and those coaches being Bruce Boudreau of the Minnesota Wild and John Hines of the New Jersey Devils. There was a lot of tweets going around that John Hines was being fired. Those tweets were fake. It got everybody. It got me at first. It got O. Nyquist and Downtown Stephen Brown. We have a group chat. And it got them as well. Because we have a Devils podcast. I don't know if a lot of people know that. Me, O. Nyquist, and Downtown Stephen Brown have a Devils podcast on the Hockey Podcast Network. Make sure to go and check that out. But those guys aren't being fired yet. False alarm. So, yeah, this was just a bunch of cool stuff in this video. If you're new, make sure to subscribe. I'd love to have more hockey conversations with you. Join the squad. Let's get to 7,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys as always. Make sure to click the link down below to check out Spectre's Hockey and his opinion on this stuff. He has everything put into one place here, and he has his Spectre's notes in there. So make sure to check that out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Or reaction. Oh my goodness, that's my other channel. Oh man, I've been filming all day. See you in the next video or stream. Peace.